So good morning, students. Today we'll discuss the concept of recursion. So recursion is a process where the function calls itself. So here in the example, you can see we have the main function. Inside the main function, we are calling a function recurse. Okay, this is a function call. Okay, so whenever the control sees this function call, it returns the function definition. So here we have the function definition where we have written the logic. Okay, and you can see here inside the function records we are again calling the same function. Again we are calling the same function. So whenever the control sees the same function call, it will return again the control to the recurse function definition. So this concept is called as a recursive function. So within the function you are calling the same function again. Okay, so this process continues until the some condition is met. Okay, so until some condition is met, this process of calling the function again and again continues. Let's understand this concept with an example. So here we have an example, the factorial of a number. Okay, so this program we have already discussed how to use it in using a function or using unstructured programming. But now we'll discuss how to execute this program with the help of recursion. You can see here we are starting the main program. So inside the main program we are taking the number. Okay, we are taking the number, we are storing it in a variable n, and then we are calling the function. Okay, this is a function called factorial. So this is the name of the function factorial, and we are passing one parameter, that is actual parameter here n we are passing. Okay, so when we make a call to the function, it returns the function definition. This is our function definition. So the return type is int. Okay, so after executing this program, it returns the result in the form of integer, the function name, and the parameter. So this is our formal parameter. So whatever the value that you're having in the variable n will be copied to this local variable n. Okay, and then we have conditions here. Okay, so if n is equal to 0, then it returns 1. That means if suppose we are giving 0 factorial, okay, if your value is 0, 0 factorial, the answer is 1. Okay, or else suppose we are writing 3 factorial, then we have to perform 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so this continues and we have supposed to get the result 6. So this is a logic. Okay, so return n into factorial n minus 1. So let's look into this program with an example. So this is a sample program output. We are entering a number 3 and we are getting the result as factorial is 6. Okay, so let's understand this program. Okay, now the control starts here, void main. There are two variables, int n, local variables n and fact. So this is for storing the factorial of a number, and this is for entering the number. Okay, so let us assume that you are entering the value n is equal to 5. Okay, so we are passing the value n is equal to 5 to the function factorial. Okay, and that value will be copied to the variable n. So you can have the same variable name or you can have the different variable name. So this is the variable which is local to the function factorial. So this is local to the function factorial. and this variable is inside the main function. So you're passing the value n is equal to 5, which will be copied to the variable n here. So initially it will check whether the n value is 0. No, the condition fails, so it will go to the else part. So in else part we have written 5, n is 5 into fact of 4. Again we are making n minus 1 is 5 minus 1, it is 4. So here we are making again the call to the function factorial. Okay, so it is 4 here. Again we are making call to the function factorial. So the control again returns to the function definition here. Okay. Again, now what is the value of n? Now the value of n, we are passing it as a 4. So the value of n is now 4. Okay. Value of n is 4. So to check 4 is equal to 0, condition fails, so it will go to the else part. So we will write return. What is the value of n now? N is 4 into 4 minus 1, that is 3. So again we are making the call to the function factorial with the value n is equal to 3. So now value of n is 3. N is 3. So it will check whether it is equal to 0. No, condition fails. We'll go to the else part. Okay, again, return n is 3. 3 into factorial n minus 1, it is 2. So again we are calling the with the value 2. Same function we are calling with the value 2. Now it will check 2 is equal to 0, condition fails, so it will go to the else part again. Return 2 into factorial of n minus 1. So 2 minus 1, it is 1. Yes, condition is true. So again it will call the function and it will call factorial of 1. Now the n value is 1. So it will check 1 is equal to 0. No. We'll go for else part. Return 1 into factorial of n minus 1, that is fact of 0. Now look at this, factorial of n value is now 0. We will check this condition. N is 0, 0 is equal to 0. Yes, condition is true and it returns a value 1. So for this function, we are getting the return value, that is 1. Now, return of 1 into 1 is what? It is 1 into 1 is, so look at this, we are getting the result 1. So that will be passed to the previous function call. So what is the value that is passed? It is 1. Again, 2 into 1, you get the answer as 2, which will be again passed back to the function call. Okay, this is how the upwinding is, unwinding is done. Okay, so 2 into, so you're getting the answer 2. Again, 3 into 2 is what? 6. So 6 will be passed to this function call. 4 into 3, 4 into fact of 3, what is fact of 3? It is the value that is written is 6. So 4 into 6, it is 24. So that 24 is passed to this function call, that is 24. Okay. So 5 into 24 is 120. So finally you are getting, so this is how first we are going down and then we are passing the result back to the function call. This is how the recursion function works. Now finally the result that we are getting here is 120. Okay, so this is what will be returned to this function call, that is 120. So which will be stored in the variable fact and finally it will display factorial is 120. So this is how the recursion function works. Next is program using recursion to bring print Fibonacci series using recursion. So we have already discussed about Fibonacci series. So on it continues. This is our first Fibonacci number, second Fibonacci number, third Fibonacci number, fourth Fibonacci number, fifth Fibonacci number, so on it continues. Okay. So suppose, so this is our n value. Okay. Suppose if you, so you have to display n Fibonacci numbers. Okay. So if you write the n value, it should return the n Fibonacci series. Okay, something like this. It should return. The output should be something like this. If you enter n is equal to 3, then it should return 3 Fibonacci numbers, that is 0, 1, 1. So if the n value is 3, same way if the n value is 5, then you should return 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5 Fibonacci numbers. Okay. Now here, suppose if your n value is 1, that is, suppose if your n value is 1, you are entering n is equal to 1. Then what you are supposed to get? What is your first Fibonacci number? It should return 0. So that is what it is given. Suppose if your n value is 2. Suppose if your n value is 2, then it should return 1. So that is what is given here. Else, okay, else if you are entering other number, for example, if you are entering n is equal to 3 or n is equal to 5 or so on, then that number will be calculated, okay, by taking the Fibonacci of previous two numbers. Okay, so how do you calculate this? By calculating, by finding the sum of these two numbers. Okay, that is 0 plus 1, you get the answer as 1. Okay, so that is what is given here. So if you want to calculate Fibonacci of n is equal to 3, then you have to find the Fibonacci of n minus 1. What is n minus 1? 3 minus 1, that is 2. That is sum of n is equal to 2, that is answer is 1. Okay, then Fibonacci of n minus 2. What is answer? Fibonacci of 3 minus 1, that is Fibonacci of 1. So what is Fibonacci of n? N is equal to 1, that is 0. Okay. So you have to perform the sum of these two, that is 0 plus 1. Okay, so which will give you the result 1. So on it continues. Very simple to remember. So Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So same way, 2, if your n is equal to 4, then the 2, how will you get 2? That is previous two numbers, sum of previous two numbers. What are the previous two numbers? It is 1 plus 1. So sum of previous two number, that is this and this, that is 1 plus 1, you get it as 2. So here we are starting from I is equal to 1 because n will start from 1. Okay, and it can make maximum, it can take the value less than or equal to n. Okay, so we are calling the fib function which returns and store the result in a variable res. So this is a sample example. So let's understand the program. Okay, let us make an assumption that you will enter. So I'll take a simple example with n is equal to 3. We are entering n is equal to 3. Okay, so first it will check. Okay, I is equal to 1, your value is 3. Okay, so you have to find 1, 2 and three Fibonacci series. So what are the three Fibonacci series? 0, 1 and 1. So this is the output you are supposed to get. So I value can take the value range from starting from 1 to maximum. It can take the value n equal to n. So that is why you write the condition I is less than or equal to n. Okay. So what is the first value of I? It is 1. First value is 1. So if the n value is 1, okay, the value we are passing here is n is equal to 1. Okay. So if n is equal to 1, what we are supposed to return? It is 0. So it will return 0. So we have already got the first number, that is 0. Okay. So it will return the value 0. So it will go to this function. Okay, we will print the value. Result is equal to 0. Okay. Again, I value will get incremented and it will become 2. Okay. So next we are again calling this function fib with the value 2. I will become now 2. We are calling the function. So when n value is equal to 2, when n value is equal to 2, we are going to print or we are going to return 1. So we'll go to the function call. So we'll go to the function call again. So here in the result it is returning 1. So that will get printed here. 1 will get printed here. And next again n value will become 3. Okay. N value will become 3. So 3 is less than or equal to 3 as condition is true. Fib of 3. So it will make the function call with the fib I value is equal to 3. Okay. Which will be copied to this function. And now value that is stored in n is 3. Okay. From I we are copying the value to the n, which is 3. Okay. Now it will check the condition 3 is equal to 1. Condition fails. Else if 3 is equal to 1, again the condition fails. So we'll go to the else part. In the else part we are having return. Okay, return fib of n minus 1. So 3 minus 1 it is 2 plus, I just write f, 3 minus 2 it is 1. So again we are making the function call. Okay, we are making the call to the function. Okay, we are calling the function fib of 2. What is the value of fib of 2? Okay, so we are again making the call to the function. Okay, I'll just erase everything. We are making the call to the function with the value fib is equal to 2. Okay, so now what is the value? It is 2. So it will check this condition 2 is equal to 1, condition fails. 2 is equal to 2, yes, condition is true. 2 is equal to 2, it returns value 1. So return 1. So one more we have here fib of 1. Okay, so again we are, so this part is done. Okay, again we have fib of 1. Now what is the value in n? It is 1. So we are checking 1 is equal to 1. Yes, condition is true. It returns 0. Okay. So it returns 0. So that value, whatever we are getting, will be passed to this function. So what we are passing to this fib of 2, we are passing, it is returning the value 1, which will be passed to this function, and this is returning the value 0, which will be passed to this function. So that is, we are finding return of 1 plus 0, which is 1. So this is the result that we are getting to the call to this function return fib of 2 plus 1, that is 1. Okay, so that value will be passed to your function call. So that value will be, you are getting to your function call, that is 1. That is the result of this. Okay, which will be copied to the variable 1, and we are going to print the value result is equal to 1. So here we are going to print 1. So that is how we are going to print n is equal to 3 result. Okay, so 3 Fibonacci numbers 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1 and 1. So try to trace for higher values, n is equal to 5 or so on. So just one more example we will look into. Okay, we have to find the sum of n natural numbers. Okay, so suppose if your n value is 3, so we are supposed to find uh, 1. So here 1, 2 and 3. This is our 3 numbers. So we have to find the sum of these 3 numbers. So what is the answer? We are getting 6. The sum of n, sum of natural numbers using the recursion of concept. This example we have already discussed how to find the sum of natural numbers previously in module 3. Now we are using the concept of recursion. Okay. So here, this is our main program. We are having a function sum with a number as a parameter. We are making the call to the function. Okay. So here we are having if condition n is equal to not equal to 0, return. Again we are making the call to the same function, okay, with one parameter. Remember, this function will take only one parameter, the parameter we are passing. So let's analyze this program. Okay. So assume that the n value we are passing it as a 3. Okay. Where n number value in numbers we are storing 3. Okay, that will be passed to your function call. So we are making a call to this function. Okay, since your function definition comes after your function call or below your main, you are supposed to write the prototype of the function or the function declaration. Okay, remember this. Now the n value you are passing, that will be copied here, number 3. The value of n is here 3. Okay, so we are checking 3 is not equal to 0. Condition is true. Okay, so we are returning. Okay, it will check the condition n is equal to 3 is not equal to 0. Condition is true. Okay, so we'll be writing 3 plus sum of n minus 1. So what is n minus 1? 3 minus 1, 2. Okay, so we are going to the if part. Okay, again we are making call to the function. Okay, again it will go to the function call. Now the value of n is 2. Okay, so 2 is not equal to 0. Condition is true. So we'll return 2 plus sum of n minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Again we are making a call to the function. So now the n value is 1. 1 is not equal to 0. Condition is true. So we'll return 1 plus sum of n minus 1. N minus 1 is 1 minus 1. It is a 0. We are making call to the function. N value is 0. 0 is not equal to 0. Condition fails. So you go to the else part and you return the value. What is the value now? N is 0. So that 0 is returned to this previous function call. Okay. So what you're getting, the answer here is 1 plus 0. So what is 1 plus 0? 1, and that 1 value will be returned to the previous function call. So what is answer you are getting here? 2 plus 1. So what is answer? 2 plus 1 is 3. So that will be returned to the previous function call, that is 3 plus, now what is the answer? 3 plus 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So that will be returned to the previous function call. So now answer what you are getting is 6. So that answer will be returned to your main function call, that is that 6 will be stored in the variable result. So here we are getting and storing the answer 6, and finally we are printing the result is sum is equal to 6. So analyze this. Okay, so this is all about the concept of recursion.